do that at the ceremony minus 2 minutes, which is where we are. But what about our, yeah. So we don't have a county executive yet, right? We don't have a sheriff yet. We don't have a chief Reese yet.
Just the parking vouchers are going to be on a table at the very far corner. So as people are leaving, they'll be on a table to the right.
They just grab their own?
Yeah, because at this point we don't know what else to do.
Okay. Do we announce that in the beginning or the end?
I'm
At
doing
the, in the closing, let people know to get them, or do we do it at the beginning in case people leave early?
We should probably do it during housekeeping.
Housekeeping in the beginning?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then
So parking vouchers in the back corner in the right.
yeah, I had Chris get a little table to put back to have back there, so he put them on there.
Okay.
You know
What
where the
else?
bathrooms are.
Bathrooms are to my right, your left, and then left corner, left side of the escalator. Okay.
I'm trying to think of what else you just told me.
So people to mute their phones, bathrooms, parking vouchers. Let me write that on here because I'm gonna forget. Housekeeping.
Your mic is on. You hear that?
on the mic. No. I just gave him a thumbs up. Yeah. Okay.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, so I don't have to worry about awards because Don's taking care of that, right? I'm not touching awards until we get it to me.
Okay. Yeah, you don't have to worry about doing anything. Ken will be right here. Ken's going to the award, and then
So I'll just sit down over here, and then just sit down over here until you come here.
yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
He's going to introduce Renee, and I'm going to introduce you.
Okay.
We have a script, but it's very lengthy. Can we turn?
No, absolutely. What am I going to say? Yes.
Right. Yes, thank you. I'm at a award ceremony. I should get home a little after 8. I'll send the pictures for you.
Ready?
To do the 2-minute warning?
Yeah.
Okay.
All
Is Ronan up here?
He's back here. This will be his.
He
cue.
told me to give him a couple minutes, but okay,
Oh,
we can.
do you wanna go get him and tell him?
No, we're good. Okay, wait. Okay. Okay, so start right there, right? Ladies and gentlemen, the ceremony will begin in 2 minutes. If you can please start moving towards your seat so that we can begin on time. A couple of housekeeping items. If you can just turn off or mute your phones during the ceremony, we would greatly appreciate it. And then also, if you need restrooms, they are out to my right, your left, on the left side of the escalators. And then at the end of the ceremony, you will all be given a parking voucher if you parked in the Huntington garage. Those vouchers will be in the back door on a small table in the back. So just make sure you grab that before you head out to have your parking validated. Share the link on the thing. Oh, they did post something on their thing. How did they do that?
Because they're streaming it through the YouTube page.
All right, well, we're good. One more minute. Oh, they're there. Okay, so we're good. Nobody over there. Yeah, you introduce us first. You wanna do that? 6:15.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and distinguished guests. I'm Deputy Bill McGee. This is Sheriff's Communication Liaison, Lauren Harwell. We'd like to welcome you to this evening's presentation, Commendation Awards Ceremony for awards that were earned in the calendar year 2023.
Please rise as we present the colors and remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance. The officer in charge of the Sheriff's Color Guard is Sergeant Robert Venables.
Detail. Hors d'oeuvre. Art. About face. Post the colors. Detail. Recover. Freeze hand. Arm. Hors d'oeuvre. Arm. Left face. Forward. Heart.
Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. We are very excited to have County Executive Chris Ronayne with us tonight. He'll now give us his opening remarks.
Well, thank you very much, and good evening, everybody. All right. It is an honor to be with the department tonight to honor those all throughout our department who've given themselves all year long and have been distinguished with an award tonight. But I want to say to every member of this department, to me, you're all distinguished in our world at Cuyahoga County. I am glad to be with you now for the last 15 months as your county executive. As a guard that just crossed the stage, they crossed my stage at my inaugural back in January at Cleveland State University. And it dawned upon me then what an honor it is to work with you, to work for you, you residents of Cuyahoga County, across this great county. I want to say it is really an auspicious occasion. First of all, remarking on the way in, we've got one of our first blue sky nights. What a beautiful sight, right? Out here on the North Coast Harbor. And on the way in, I said, you see a lot of our world right in front of us. We ought to, as Sheriff Patel said to me, make the most of this building more often. So I'm glad to see rows of seats filled with all of you, our family members, of all those that work with the department, and friends, and of course, our employees. Looking out over the harbor, I want to say to the kids and family members, hello kids, thanks for being here tonight. There's a lot to see. Yes, hello kids. A lot to see right outside these windows. Among many things, right out in front of the building is an urban farm. Check out the animals that you'll see actually just underneath the windowsill there tonight. As you look out over the Science Center, I was there with Sheriff Patel and the senior leadership team today getting ready with a press conference for the solar eclipse coming on April 8th. It's going to be a big day in Cleveland. We were right there at the Science Center. I joked on the way in, there's a lot of talk about this building just to the west of us, Cleveland Brown Stadium. I said a show of hands back in the back. Who's for the dome? Who's not for the dome? Let me take the survey right now. Dome? No dome. Hands up for the no dome. Oh boy, it's going to cost us. All right, but in all seriousness, it's great to be in this beautiful space out looking over the harbor. One last fun fact, I learned a lot of things about Cuyahoga County as your county executive. I learned recently that actually only a third of county land, only a third of the county is on land. 2/3 of our county, geographically, is actually in the lake. There's a fun fact for you tonight. We are about 475 square miles of land and another 700 or so out in the water because the county of Cuyahoga County goes all the way to the Canadian Maritime Line. How about that for tonight? So this is a big county. All right, well, enough of my fun facts. I got one more. Tonight is the anniversary of the first rock and roll concert in the world. It happened at the Cleveland Arena, the Moondog Coronation Ball, when DJ Alan Freed assembled some of the great local and national talent on the stage at the Cleveland Arena for the first rock and roll concert 72 years ago in 1952. So let's rock tonight, all right? I want to say, I'm going to embarrass her one more time, a person who knows I always go off script, as I've done from the very beginning here tonight, but I want to look out to a person who helps me with some of my notes. Jen Schott, she happens to be standing up. A lot of you know her. She works in county comms. She's a former police officer with Cleveland Police and worked at the city of Cleveland, and we recruited her over here. But she's our public relations director, and it's her birthday tonight. So, Jen, happy birthday. Give a wave. I've embarrassed you one more time. All right. Well, to all of you, it really is an honor to be with you. I came over wearing my pin, the sheriff's pin. Thank you, because I'm proud to work with you. You represent, as a department, 1/4 of the staff of Cuyahoga County, over 25% of our staff of Cuyahoga County. You are important, and that's why I'm here tonight, to say thank you for serving. So good evening and thank you. And it really is an incredible honor to be with you tonight. And I mean all of you, our deputies, our corrections officers, our protective service officers, our court security officers, our professional administrative staff, and all of you that work in the everyday work of the Sheriff's Department. I share with Sheriff Patel a common vision to literally be the best department in the land. I know we will be. We are moving in that direction as we speak. We are a team and a department on the move. So most people take career paths to just get a job. You take it with intentionality, to protect, to serve, to uphold justice and fairness. You come to work every day wanting to make a difference and make our society better, and you do. As I get to know all of you, I see the world through you. I want to give a special shout out to the guys I travel with often from the Department on Protective Services, and that's Paul, Tom, and Marvin, who travel with me every day. But I hear stories about the department and the good things that are happening here. They got your back, I got your back. And I'd like to say to the families, I've said this before, I've had the privilege of working with law enforcement for over 25 years at the city, at University Circle, and now here at Cuyahoga County. To the families who are here tonight, the loved ones, thank you for what you give every day, your loved one on the front line. And I mean front line everywhere in the department. You are all, to me, our frontline team. So thanks to the families for being there every day. It isn't easy to be a family member of a member of law enforcement because of what you worry about and what you think about every day. But let me tell you, it's an honor to work with your loved ones. Law enforcement is an incredibly demanding career. Our deputies, our service officers, our staff, and our administrative staff, they work long, hard hours. This profession requires a lot of that family support. So thank you tonight. Let's give it up for our family members who are here tonight. When I began my term as county exec over a year ago, I knew that I needed to bring on a sheriff and a team of law enforcement professionals who could get this job done, who will think differently and creatively about the challenges at hand in our community. It was an imperative to find the right people for the job. And my search led me to the right leader, and that was Sheriff Harold Patel. Sheriff Patel brings a great deal to the table, over 30 years of law enforcement experience, along with extensive police and military training. He really is a person of the people. He's out there in the community, but he's always got his staff's back. Every other week we meet, we talk about your interests and the things he wants to get done with you and for you. So I know that Sheriff Patel and the team has built a command staff that have in mind to provide top level of service to residents of Cuyahoga County. The leadership team with Cuyahoga County Sheriff Department is thoroughly committed to the safety of the whole county, and through collaborative efforts with law enforcement agencies, through local, state, and federal levels across 59 communities, they're making a difference. You guys in law enforcement know this is still a people business. You got to know people to help get things done. I think experienced veterans who know other partners in other law enforcement have been the key to our recent successes. The collaboration has led to great results. I'll just use one example tonight, notably the new Downtown Safety Patrol. I bring it up because it's a creative new idea that's lending huge support to the city of Cleveland, which lends, therefore, huge support to our region. The Downtown Safety Patrol has had an incredible impact on the safety within downtown. I heard statistics that some of you rattled off just on the way in tonight about how homicides are down, about how safety is up in the places that we're providing added partnership. Cleveland's downtown neighborhood houses sports arenas, as we know, concert venues, as we know, and a huge portion of the region's entertainment venues. So people are out and about from this whole county here in the downtown. As our statistics go, since the summer of 2023, we've recovered, thanks to you, over 150 firearms. Over 2,000 traffic stops have been conducted. We've made over 100 felony and misdemeanor arrests and seized $130,000 in unlawfully carried dollars and money. So this downtown footprint has seen a decrease in gun violence and shootings and homicides since the Downtown Safety Patrol arrived. That's just one example of civic innovation thanks to a sheriff who's seen a new way to help a community like Cleveland. In addition to our work downtown, our Sheriff's Department assists city law enforcement agencies throughout Cuyahoga County. They do it with the deployment of SWAT units. They do it by assigning members to task force operations, and most recently with the United States Marshal Service for the Missing Children's Task Force. As you're all aware, the county is now investing in Garfield with a new proposed state-of-the-art facility that will not only house the county jail, but of course the county sheriff's department and a plethora of other services. You know what? It's nice when a mayor in a place like the city of Garfield Heights says, we welcome you, we want you, we know you're going to enhance our community safety and you're going to enhance our overall well-being in our community. That's the reputation that is growing with the sheriff's department. There isn't a mayor I work with who doesn't have high regard for what you do and says it daily out in the suburbs. We need more of you. We love your sheriff's department. So that's the external facing sheriff's department. But on the internal facing side, I want to thank you for what you do in our buildings every day to protect the public and our workers. Each member of the Cuyahoga County Sheriff Department is an integral part of Team Cuyahoga. Our sheriffs, our deputies, our protective services, our courts staff and corrections staff, our administrative staff, and our professionals throughout the department. 1,400 strong you are. You all make a huge contribution to public safety. I will always have public safety's back. I will always have an officer's back. And that's because I respect you on the front line. Always will, always have, and I respect the families that every day give you up to the public to do what you do best, protect and support. Thank you again. It's an honor to be with you tonight. It is really, truly a pleasure to be with a team that dedicates themselves selflessly every day to public safety. So back to Alan Freed. Let's rock tonight. Thanks, everybody. Appreciate what you do.
Thank you, Executive Romaine. You stole my entire welcome or introduction to the sheriff, everything I was going to say. But without further ado, our next speaker is Sheriff Harold Patel. He has been with us since July of last year, and as you heard from the county exec, has made tremendous changes and growth within the department. We are excited to have him on board, and without further ado, please welcome Sheriff Patel.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you, Lauren. Thank you, Executive, for the kind words and for the inspirational leadership that you provide for us. And when we talk about that, I just want to take one quick moment, folks, and we'll get to some other stuff here in a second. But we talk about change. Change is here. Many of you have heard me say it. Change is here. There's more to come, and that's a good thing. Sometimes change is a little uncomfortable, but it's all for the better, okay? But change is here. And it's important. We talk about inspiration and motivation. Motivation, you motivate yourself to go to the gym, you motivate yourself to get off the couch and go cut the grass, right? You motivate yourself. Inspiration is a little bit different. And that's what we focus on here. That we're going to inspire all of our teammates to pull in the same direction. We're pretty much there. You've heard me say it before. I got here, I found a tremendous group of people who've done a tremendous amount of good work and a lot of good work that had been done. We're going to continue to push that ball forward. Ship was 3 degrees off center. It's probably 2 degrees off center or so. So it's just a slight number, but just you get the point. We got to change some things, and the staff has been incredibly supportive. So I appreciate everyone that's been helping us from every angle, wherever you lie. The executive kind of went through the titles, and I want to just
take a quick moment to go over that again, something you've heard before, many of you, but I want the families and everyone to hear it from me again. In our department, we have correction officers, court security officers, protective service officers, deputy sheriffs, and we have professional staff. The term is professional staff. I want everyone to ingrain that in their brain. It's not civilian, because that is a term which normally in the uniformed forces, uniformed services, tends to be a little disparaging. Whether it's in the fire service, the police service, the military, oh, he's just a civilian, you're going to have to listen to him, etc. Everyone that doesn't have that title and wear a uniform is professional staff. And I think that's the way we should certainly refer to our teammates on that. So I'm very serious about that, and I appreciate that it's been normalized through the agency, so I appreciate that. But we talk about inspiration, and you have to inspire for something. And when the executive mentioned about rebuilding the agency and continue moving forward, the catch is it's the premier law enforcement agency in the state of Ohio and beyond. Why is that? Because thank you again, executive, for the support in rebuilding a few areas of our team, and obviously we know about the downtown safety patrol and a few other things that we're doing. We're tweaking some things. Most things do work, and some things have been done before to some extent, some degree. Well, now we have total support, so we're moving forward. So I just appreciate all the support with that. When we talk about family, if you reference the rear of the program, you'll see I have a quick snippet about family, but very important. Without family, we couldn't do this job. Incredibly demanding, and sometimes we may even bore our family members. Some family members don't really know what the collective bargaining agreement is or the union rules, all this stuff, and something that it's very integral to our life. So we may kind of take some of that home, and they probably get tired of hearing it from us, but yeah, it's kind of the world we're in, and we're in an environment where things change quickly. We're in an environment where we have to pivot. We're in an environment where you never know what tomorrow's going to bring, and I think that May 30th certainly illustrated that to us. I know the Sheriff's Department was critically involved in that, including the Division of Corrections, and it illustrates that things can happen quickly. And I know that I used the term live in the moment, because that's what our members have to do, is live in the moment, because things happen very quickly. We talk about uniforms, and everyone has a different uniform, different degrees. It's very similar, but everyone wears a different uniform, and wear it proudly. We wear our Stetsons proudly. Why? We are blessed to be in a position that we are here. Nobody forced any of us to be here. We all raised our hand and said, hey, I want to be a protective service officer. I want to be a deputy sheriff. I want to be a correction officer. I want to be the sheriff. No one forced it on us. And there are many people who we know who are not here because they chose other paths, because maybe they didn't get the call, they didn't score high, whatever the issue might be. The point is they're not here. And they are great people of great character doing great work in other spaces. But in this space, it's us. It's something for us to be proud of. If we're wearing this uniform, we're representing this 5-point gold star, it's very important, and we should be proud of that, because we all know the day is going to come we're not going to wear this, because there's going to come that day that we're going to retire and go fishing or something, right? Remember, retire, transition, there's a difference there. But just wanted to touch on that. Very proud of something we started this week, and everyone doesn't know, so I'm going to let you know, depending what department you're from. The Corrections Division has started a K-9 program. The first class was Monday, and they started there. They'll be at training at a training facility for about a week, and then they're going to come train inside the facility. And that program is going to save lives. That program is going to stop poison from entering our facility. Now that, I believe, family and friends have seen in the news, that we've had those situations. Well, that's a terrific program, and I'm very proud of the correction officers that raised their hands and said, I want to do that. I want to change with that, and they're doing that. And that is significant. It's absolutely a first, and I can tell you, the chief and I were at the Major County Sheriffs of America conference a couple of weeks ago, and that was a major topic of discussion there, because that same challenge exists in other facilities. I know that the day is going to come when, I'm a big believer in these peer exchanges, when we're going to have people from other places come here, as we have been with the executive and members of the team to other facilities as we prepare for to build our campus. So that's important, that we're doing something different. It's to the benefit of those in our care. It's the benefit of our agency and the benefit of those officers. And another thing with that is, it provides a way forward for officers who want something different. So that's important to be able to have change. So I kind of want to mention on that. When we talk about change, a lot of times people get a little mired in the past or how things get easy. And many of you have heard me say it before. The old saying about you can take the horse to the stream, but you can't make them drink. I'm a firm believer, but we can make them thirsty. So if you make them thirsty, and we are on the right side of history, we can certainly move mountains. Why? What we're doing makes sense. The support that we have, not only in our department, but through the executive in the county and in the community, is incredible. I can't tell you how many positive things we've heard, not just Downtown Safety Patrol, although they are like the sharp end of the spear of this space, and we do get a lot of compliments from the DSP, but as an agency, I hear from chiefs. Well, sometimes I hear that a couple things take long. That's another story. But by and large, I hear really good things from all of our staff, and that's great. Special Assistant Carbone showed me a picture earlier of, was that in Strongsville? In Strongsville, 2 deputy sheriffs were doing whatever they were doing there, and they were helping a lady with a walker across the street, and that was significant. We go back to things that people use as catchphrases. It's true. That's the level of service that we do. Why? Service delivery is important. And our members deliver that service no matter what role they're playing, whether it's a court security officer who seized 7 weapons coming into our building last year. 7 weapons that could have gotten into the Justice Center, but because of the efforts of the court security officers, they were detected, seized, and travesty was averted. So that's just a tip of the iceberg for many other things, but I want to mention that. Whether it's a correction officer who is delivering world-class pre-hospital care to an inmate who needs it, who is diffusing a situation that could lead to tragic consequences for those in our care, and then for the taxpayers. Whether it's a deputy sheriff who's on scene with something happening and responding to something else and just changing gears quickly to either avert a crime, take someone into custody who needs to be in custody because they're a violent criminal offender, or again, deliver world-class pre-hospital care. You'll hear me say that more than once, because that is very near and dear to my heart. I think that we know the obviously value of Narcan in our society, but beyond that, the trauma kits and what our deputies deliver with those trauma kits. Also, we've ordered AEDs for every police car. Why? Every one of those marked units is out there is able to provide AED service to someone who is in cardiac distress, whether it's a prisoner they're conveying, which they convey thousands of prisoners throughout the year, or it's another department member, or it's a member of our community who needs that. That is another beacon of safety, another beacon of service that we're providing, a traveling beacon of service into the community. Executive mentioned the mayor in Garfield Heights, and Mayor Burke is terrific. But again, another community that has welcomed us and welcomed our partnership, not just because we're building our facility there, but because they believe in the mission. Why? Because we're true partners to everyone around us. We had the executive mentioned the press conference today with the city leaders also for the eclipse. That is going to be a terrific historical event, and I encourage everyone to participate, but you'll learn more on the website and a news conference on that. But important, it's a major event. The world's eyes are going to be on Northeast Ohio. Northeast Ohio is where nature has focused that eclipse, and that's where the world's going to be looking. And I can tell this crowd of trusted family the vulnerability and the threat that comes with such an event, just like the RNC, just like the Super Bowl, just like the NFL draft. Those events garner people who mean us harm. So it's important to know that our deputies, our SWAT team, our investigators are prepared to serve in an intelligence capacity, prepared to serve in a SWAT response capacity, are prepared to serve as ambassadors. So I just want to tell you that I'm very proud of the work that our people are doing in every space. But that's just a little snippet of some of the things that we're doing, and that's coming up. That's April 8th, so it's right around the corner. So I want to go back to family one more time, just because it's very important. Please take time to thank your family. Those of you department members here, family, hold them to it. Don't overwhelm them with stuff from work. And family, every story they tell you is not something they did, just so you're aware, okay? Policemen, deputies, correction officers are kind of known for sometimes telling stories about stuff they didn't do. But it is entertaining, but don't take so much home. You know, we have programs that work, but love your family. Let them know what they mean to you. It's important. If everything's good at home, you're 100% when you come to work. If you're concerned about stuff at home, it can cause you some distress at work. It can be difficult. So that's another thing that I found here, an incredibly welcoming, supportive team that takes care of our staff, and that's awesome because it's important that our members are well. So having closed on that, there's one more thing I do want to mention to you, a very novel program. I did not start it, but we did execute it here. I had that concept in mind. In fact, during my interview onboarding process, I brought it up, and I find out that it had already been done by this wonderful department, and that is the Sheriff Deputies Cadet Program. So, before I go through the explanation, Cadet Kanibo Sissoko and Cadet Nicholas Spillman, would you stand and just come up here for a second, please? Tell you in a minute why they're dressed the way they are. Just want to say hi, guys. All good? Just hang out for a minute. Relax. Okay, they're just hanging out here for a minute. Cadet program. What's a cadet program? Cadet program is open to all members of the Sheriff's Department. Any member of the Sheriff's Department, no matter where they work, who wants to be a deputy sheriff. We had a vetting process. They have people applied. We went through the vetting process, and Cadets Sissoko and Spillman are the ones that were selected this time around. We're going to have a continuous thing. They're currently in the police academy. They're going to be obtaining their Ohio Peace Officer Training Academy certification. And once they obtain that and they graduate, then they will be deputy sheriffs. So again, we talk about a way forward. We talked about the K-9 program in the correction facility. And there's some other programs that we have in mind that we're still cooking up, I'll say, that I'm looking for some support. Yes, I'm looking at a few of you here, that I'm looking for some support to be able to push that forward. Why? Creates a way forward for all of our members. But it's important to know that these two gentlemen are going through this program, and they will be the first. They will be the first Cuyahoga County Sheriff's Department cadets to go through the program and become deputy sheriffs, and I'm very proud of that. Academy going well? Awesome. All right, guys, take care. Have a seat. Appreciate it. Sorry. All right. Okay, last thing I'll close on, guys. Specialization. Our employees all have a special capability. They wouldn't be here, right? Whether they're a correction officer, protective service officer, member of our professional staff, court security officer, deputy sheriff, everyone brings something to the table. There is some basic job requirements that we have, but then there are things that people bring to the table, such as their spirit, their experience, their stick-to-itness, their intuition, their temperament, different things. And that's important because that's what allows us to do our job. Many of the folks being recognized today are going to tell you they're very modest, very modest. Oh, I was just doing my job. Yeah, but you could have looked the other way. Some people do. But you could have not done what you did. So I just want to, number one, thank all of the award recipients today for their work and for their efforts, but also mention that is indicative of the level of work being done by all of our members. There are many members working right now, about 300 yards behind us, who are working doing some of these things. Everyone doesn't get recognized at the same time, but I can tell you from going through those awards, and you'll hear those shortly, it is just terrific to hear. It makes me very proud, the level of work being done by our staff members here. Just incredible. And as you hear some of those descriptions, you'll see they have stepped up and said, I am here to provide a service. I'm here to deliver superior service. So I want to close on that, the superior service and the specialties. Everyone doesn't have the specialized training. Everyone doesn't bring the same thing to the table. But John Q. citizen, visitor, or resident of Cuyahoga County doesn't know that. All they know is that we have to provide a service, and we're providing it to a certain level, that premier level. And for that, I thank our members. Thank you very much. Lauren?
In the spring of 2022, the sheriff directed the creation of the Sheriff's Department Commendation Awards policy, as well as the appointment of committee members. All committee members are appointed for 2-year terms. The committee is charged with reviewing nominations of awards and then discussing those with the understanding that they can recommend a greater award or a lesser award. The awards committee voted this year to state the names of the recipients of the letters of appreciation and the letters of commendation that were earned throughout the year 2023. We will ask that those members rise as their names are called and remain standing while the other recipients' names are also called during that section. The commendation and awards policy allows the issuance of commendations and citizen citations to persons who are also not employees of the Cuyahoga County Sheriff. These may be issued to citizens that assist the Sheriff's Department, and they may or may not coincide with some of the other awards that are issued. Some citizens will be recognized today for their assistance that they provided and participation in significant events. Members will be presented certificates or awards on the stage by members of the command staff. Those presentations will be based upon events and accomplishments and the number of members involved. There may be a lot of people on the stage at one point. Following each recognition of members, we'll turn and face the audience and pause for a moment to allow for applause and photographs to be taken by Jason Kosman of the Sheriff's Department, who will share a link of those photos with those recognized today, and those photos then can be shared by others.
Ladies and gentlemen, Chief Deputy of Law Enforcement and Protective Services Aaron Reese will now read the names of those who have received letters of appreciation from the Sheriff's Department, law enforcement, and professional staff for outstanding efforts during the course of their duties. Again, as your name is called, please rise and remain standing the entire time until the end.
Right, first we have letters of appreciation for the professional staff. And we have Janelle Davis. Is Janelle here? Carrie Eckert, Jada Johnson, and Ashley Lewis. Okay, we will move on to the law enforcement division. We have Adam Babix, Antonio Camargo. There's Antonio. Daryl Day. David Garber. Kevin Harvey. Thomas Kanzig. Matthew Lawler. Benedict Meter. Darius Petratus. Kenneth Riggs. Daniel Ross, Ryan Spurlock, Ian Vajuzzi, Stephen Viverka, Alex Baumgardner, Scott Conklin, James DeCredico, John Giowita, Swain Jackson, Randolph Cluse, Eric Mann, Jamie Moran, Anthony Carino, Nestor Rivera, Courtney Shoger, Jeffrey Turner, Joshua Varga, Marvin Young, DeAndre Brown, Timothy Coyne, Eric Enck, Reynaldo Gregory, Stephen James, Chris Kozub, Tarico Marshall, Matthew Meislowick, Christopher Repack, Peter Rivera, Timothy Slowick, Michael Twombly, and Scott Vargo. Congratulations, guys.
Ladies and gentlemen, Chief Deputy of Corrections Dale Soltis will now read the names of those who received letters of appreciation or commendation, and we'll have them also stand when their name is read.
Robert Astronakis, Terry Boyce, Ronald Chanel, Ronald Clay, Michael Dennis, Maurice Everhart, Linda Hardin, Tanya Hunter, Jeremy Long, Jaquetta Rivers, Demaro Shimo, Tara Warren, Andrew Wilms, John Block, Antonio Brunello, Philip Christopher, Nicole Dancy, Deja Dukes, Perez Foster, Frank Hocker, Jasmine Jackson, Maria Lopez, Kenneth Salim, James Toney, Regina Watts Herbert, John Z. Wilson, John Borowski, Wesley Callahan, Brian Serlick, Kipper Davis, Brian Dwyer, Anthony Gordon, Mario Howard, Rufus Lester, Shambi Mitchell, Kyle Shaw, Tatiana Ward McCall, Ivor Williams.
Okay. We'll now have Deputy Sheriff Major Richard Peters will now read the names of those who received letters of commendation from the Sheriff's Department law enforcement staff for commendable actions during their course of their duties.
Christopher Allen. Christopher has received multiple letters of commendation within this award year. Kyle Briding. Kyle has received multiple letters of commendation within this award year. Jeffrey Gentili. Jeffrey has received multiple letters of commendation within this award year. Thomas Kanzik. John Myers. Matthew Sekula. Russell Barnhart. Deandra Brown. Jeffrey Hines. Rhett Larisha. I had to practice that a couple times. Keith Newdecker. Ryan Spurlock. James Barry. Michael Cyrus. Stacy Jarrell. Matthew Lawler. David Schlegel. Zachary Tucker, and also Michael Cyrus has also received multiple letters of commendation within this award year.
Ladies and gentlemen, Associate Warden Phil Christopher will now read the names of those who have received letters of commendation from the Sheriff's Department corrections staff for commendable actions during the year.
Barbara Bailey, Lowell Bedard, Sandra Brown, James Corso, Kurt Emerson, Anthony Gordon, Ebony Haynes, James Johnson, Cynthia Lee, David Mogg, Jerry McClinton, Andre Patrick, Anthony Santiago, Sean Tyler, Angela Watkins, Kylan Baker, John Block, Kimberly Brown Wiggins, Jameel Davis, Perez Foster, Mina Gordon, Nicole Head, William Jordan, Rufus Lester, Patrick Madden, Donna McCauley, Shannon Pritchett, Lawrence Taylor, Christopher Wade, Stephen Baylog, Keith Broski. Keith has multiple letters of commendation within the same year. Daisha Coggins, Ike Dye, John Fuller, Regina Gordon, Frank Hocker, Brendan King, Jeremy Long, Dwayne May, Cecil Moss, Kenneth Salim, Anthony Teemer, Tatiana Ward McCall.
Ladies and gentlemen, Sheriff Patel, Chief Deputy Reese, and Chief Deputy Soltis are presenting the following awards for outstanding performances by Deputy Sheriffs, Correction Officers, Protective Service Officers, Court Security Officers, and professional staff, as well as citizen citation for one of our community members. As your name is called, please come to the stage to receive your award. The Buckeye State Sheriff's Association Citizen Citation is being presented to Probation Officer Omar Fahat. Mr. Farhat is receiving the Buckeye State Sheriff's Association Citizen Citation for his actions on August 15th, 2023. On this date, not yet. On this date, Mr. Farhat received information that a high-risk domestic violence court client had cut off his ankle monitor and had threatened to harm the victim. His actions and efforts resulted in the arrest of the client by law enforcement and prevented any harm that could have been caused to anyone that day. The Buckeye State Sheriff's Association Safe Driving Award is being presented to Deputies Antonio Camarga, Rhett Larisha, and Jack Justice. These deputies are being recognized for their safe driving practices. In the past 5 years, they have routinely operated sheriff's emergency vehicles in all types of traffic and weather conditions, often in emergency operations situations with 0 chargeable accidents. Thank you for your professionalism and dedication demonstrated by your outstanding driving while on duty. Ladies and gentlemen, the Buckeye State Sheriff's Association Commendation Awards are being presented to the following members of the Sheriff's Department. As I call your name, come on up on stage. Deputy Stacy Jarrell. Deputy Jarrell is receiving the Commendation Award for his actions on March 21st, 2023. On that day, he was assigned to conduct an arrest of a subject who was being released following psychiatric care. That subject was very combative and threatened to spit and assault him. His ability to remain calm and demonstrate professionalism in spite of extremely inappropriate comments and attempts to intimidate were commendable. His actions and composure that day epitomize those character traits expected of first responders, and his excellent service to the community is very much appreciated. Correction Officer Xavier Howard. Is Correction Officer Howard here? No, thank you. In that case, we will move on to Deputy Sergeant Ryan Myers and Deputy Matt Sekula. Sergeant Myers and Deputy Sekula are receiving commendation awards for their efforts in implementing a program that brought training in life-saving first aid techniques to all Cuyahoga County Sheriff's deputies. Additionally, their work, along with others, involved individual first aid kits and tourniquets for every vehicle and accompanying procedures to care, maintenance, and restock those kits as they became necessary to refill. They greatly increased our department and our ability to render first aid, including life-saving measures. Deputies Mark Adams, Randy Divis, Roger Gibson, Kevin Harvey, Jamie Moran, Matthew Meislewick, and Danny Nutka, as well as Chris Repak. None of the above. Okay. They're tied up on other duties. In that case, we will proceed again to Deputy Sergeant Ryan Myers. Sergeant Myers is receiving his second commendation award for his efforts on September 28, 2023, after receiving information that an electronic monitoring client was a person of interest in a related murder of a 4-year-old child. He created a tactical plan, coordinated with the City of Cleveland Police Department, as well as the City of Cleveland Vice and Homicide units, and was pivotal in bringing the subject into custody without further injury to the public or law enforcement officers, just enabling furtherance and closure of that investigation. Don't go far. Don't go far. Sergeant John Denightson, Sergeant David Schlegel, Sergeant Ryan Myers, Deputies Christopher Allen, James Berry, Kyle Breeding, Tyler Bunch, Antonio Camargo, Jeffrey Gentili, Jasmine Hardwick, Jack Justice, Rhett Larisha, Matthew Lawler, Jacob Meistrick, Kyle White, and Stephen Young. If you're here, come up on stage. Squeeze in, squeeze in. While they continue onto the stage, I will tell you that these deputies are receiving the Commendation Award as a team for their outstanding work in the Cuyahoga County Sheriff's Department Electronic Monitoring Unit. This unit routinely monitors around 600 clients, many of which have cases involving domestic violence victims, as well as other victims of violent crime. Their focus is victim safety and rapid response to issues arising, and it has resulted in lowering re-victimization rates, as well as helping out in other areas. Note to self, next year we need a bigger stage. Let's give these deputies a round of applause. Trying to get me to take one more step. Continuing on with the commendation awards, we have Sergeant Timothy Coyne, K-9 deputies James DeCredico, Anthony Carino, Kenneth Riggs, Deputy David Garber, Cody Hutchinson, Casey Loudermilk, Robert Piccola, Pete Rivera, Eisen Vajusi, as well as Deputy Josh Varga. Yeah, stay. We heard both the sheriff and the executive talk about the great work that the Downtown Safety Patrol has done. These sergeants and deputies are receiving the Commendation Award as a team for their outstanding work in the Downtown Safety Unit. The unit was created in August of 2013 with the goal of high visibility law enforcement presence in the downtown Cleveland area. They've been, as the sheriff mentioned and the executive mentioned, highly successful in that end in reducing crime and in seizing firearms in the downtown area, keeping our downtown area safe for all the citizens of Cuyahoga County to come and visit. Sergeants Daniel Comerford, K-9 Deputy Nicholas Riegelmeyer, Deputies DeAndre Brown, Daryl Day, Matt Lawler, Robert Cole, Shakria Cooper, Special Deputies Antonio Baez and Deputy Bannister. These sergeants and deputies are receiving Commendation Award as a team for their dedicated service and commitment to Cuyahoga County Department's Honor Guard. The Honor Guard is often the face of the Sheriff's Department and seen at many community events, often leading parades throughout the county. The Honor Guard also renders funeral honors to law enforcement personnel and their families, and they open and close many official ceremonies with the posting and retiring of the colors. The service to the department by the Honor Guard is very much appreciated.
All right, next up we have our Life Saving Awards. The Buckeye State Sheriff Association Life Saving Awards are being presented to the following Sheriff's Department staff. And we have Deputies Christopher Allen, Kyle Breeding, and Jeff Gentili to the stage, please. Okay. Deputies Allen, Breeding, and Gentili are receiving the Life Saving Award for their action on March 15th of 2023. While attempting to effect an EMU violation arrest, a female produced a knife and threatened to take her own life. Through their training and experience, they de-escalated the situation, resulting in compliance by the female. The female was then transported to the hospital for mental health assistance. The actions they took resulted in the preservation of a life. Thank you. All right, next up, can we have Sergeants John Germain, Deputies Albert LeQuay, John Myers, and Sean Yonkers. All right, these sergeant and deputies are receiving the Life Saving Award for their actions on April 24th of 2023. On that day, they responded to a medical distress emergency in the probation department. Upon arrival, a probation officer was found unresponsive. CPR was immediately started, an AED was attached, and shocks were given. Cleveland Fire and EMS arrived on scene and took over the life-saving measures. Their training and experience, along with their quick actions, aided in another preservation of life. Thank you. Next up, we have Deputies Antonio DeRusio and Corin Hansen. All right, Deputy DeRusso and Corin Hansen are receiving the Life Saving Award for their actions on June 5th of 2022. While on a patrol assignment, they observed a male down in the roadway. Upon further investigation, they determined this was a possible overdose situation with an unresponsive male. Based on their training and expertise, they administered Narcan to the down male, who then became responsive. Cleveland Fire and EMS responded on scene and took over medical care. Without their quick response and actions on scene, it is believed the overdose male would have become a fatality. Thank you. Do we have correction officers James Craig and Saida Hogan? Maybe? No? Okay. All right. Next up, we have Sergeant Daniel Comerford, Deputies Antonio Camargo, Greg Franklin, Corin Hansen, Jazim Hardwick, Nicholas Wren, Jack Justice, Anthony McGowan, Nicholas Moskowitz, Joseph Papar, Kyle Perry, Ryan Spurlock, Kyle White, and Sean Yonkers. This is our second largest group, by the way. Two more to go. We're almost there. Okay. The sergeant and deputies here are receiving the life-saving award for their actions on July 9th of 2023. All these brave men and women responded to shots fired call in a heavily populated area in downtown Cleveland. Upon arrival, the scene, best described as chaotic, had several injured parties with gunshot wounds throughout. With assistance from Cleveland Police and Cleveland Fire, the area was secured and life-saving medical assistance and first aid was rendered. Based upon their training, knowledge, and experience, they aided in the preservation of lives. Next up, we have Corrections Corporal Danielle Chapman and Correction Officer Ulysses Roscoe. All right, so Corporal Chapman and Officer Roscoe are receiving the life-saving award today for their actions on August 10th of 2023. That day, they identified the need for immediate medical intervention for a fellow team member. Though that team member was reluctant to be taken for medical intervention, their insistence ensured that the team member was rapidly transported to the hospital where the necessary medical intervention was rendered and ultimately saved the life of their team member. Next up, we have Sergeants Jeffrey Turner, Deputies Christopher Allen, James Berry, Kyle Breeding, Jeffrey Gentili, Rhett Larisha, Bruce Lowry, Jacob Meistrick, John Myers, Dane Palmer, and Nathan Vietz. Okay, the sergeant and deputies here are receiving their life-saving award for their actions on November 14th of 2023. While attempting to effect an EMU violation arrest, a male produced a screwdriver and held it to his neck, threatening to take his own life. The male had a history of mental health concerns and previous actions of self-harm. With the information known and through their training and experience, the team de-escalated the situation, resulting in compliance by the male. Assistance was provided to the arrested male and to family members on scene. The actions the team took resulted in the preservation of another life. You can come up. You can come up. Okay. Can we have Deputy Ryan Spurlock to the stage? Deputy Spurlock is receiving the Life-Saving Award for his actions on November 25th of 2023. While working a SWAT detail covering the Cleveland Winterland Festival in Public Square, he responded to shots fired. He assisted Cleveland police with a male victim who had a gunshot wound to his left leg. He quickly assessed the injury and applied a tourniquet to stop the bleeding. The male was then transported by EMS to the hospital. With his quick action, triage, and by having and utilizing the proper equipment, he demonstrated his commitment to the preservation of life. All right, moving right along. Next up, can we have Sergeant Courtney Shoger, Deputies Rhett Larisha, Thomas Kanzik, Matt Lawler, and Jacob Meistrick. All right, the sergeant and deputies are receiving the Life-Saving Award for their actions on December 21st of 2023. That day, they responded to a distressed male stating he wanted to end his life. Through teamwork and open communication, they were able to make contact and build a rapport with the male. Ultimately, the male complied, surrendering himself for transport to Metro Health for a self-admit and medical care. Their training experience and effective communication utilized by the team prevented the loss of life and allowed this male to get the help that he much needed. Thank you. And last but not least, can we have Deputy Stephen Russell? Deputy Russell is receiving his Life-Saving Award for his actions on December 26th of 2023. While working at the Lakeside Courthouse, he responded to a call of an unresponsive male. Based on his training and experience, he advised dispatch that he had a male overdosing and administered 2 doses of Narcan. Shortly thereafter, the male regained consciousness and had admitted to using drugs. Due to his quick assessment and recognizing the signs of overdose, he preserved another life. Thank you. That's all for life saving. We're moving on.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Buckeye State Sheriff's Association Certificate of Merit Awards are being presented to the following Sheriff's Department staff. Court Security Officer Claudia Hernandez.